All right, say Christopher Daniel Barnes, right?
Yeah.
All right, it's full name.
Yeah, that's, you can call me Chris, I don't care, whatever. You can call me Spiky. Prince
Spike-
Eric, doesn't matter to me.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is Q. I'm here with Christopher Daniel Barnes. You might know him as Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
From the 1990 Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And a couple other projects. So I got some questions for you.
Sure, yeah.
All right, first question. What got you into acting?
Well, I was very young. I was living in New York, and my mother ran into an talent agent, on a bus. Actually, we were on public transportation, just going somewhere, and my mom took me into an agency, and they said, "Oh, this kid might, do some modeling work or whatever," and that's how it all started. And then I got a commercial from there, and then just kind of snowballed.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things.
How was the experience doing the Brady Bunch movie? Because you were Greg Brady in it.
Yes.
And do you have any behind-the-scenes stories?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, it was a lot of fun. Brady Bunch was great. It was an affectionate satire. So we were kind of gently poking fun at people you care about. You know what I mean? So we had a lot of fun. Funny behind-the-scenes thing is when we first went on the set, walking onto that set was just a surreal experience, and all of us kind of had this. We didn't want to step across the threshold into the Brady world, So
Yeah, it's like the childhood memory in front of your face.
Exactly, right there. And so I remember all of us just sort of being in awe, and then sort of like realizing, oh no, we've got a job to do, and sort of trepidatiously stepping into the Brady world. It was very cool.
So tell me about the short stories on your official website.
Yes. Okay. Well, so the first thing I say about those is there is a big difference between Prince Eric, Spider-Man, and Chris, short story writer. The short stories that I write are, they fall into the horror and dystopian fiction genre. And as I say on my website, there's no animated heroes, no Marvel heroes, no animated princes. It's a very different experience. I want that disclaimer because I've had people come up to me and say, I read your short story, and they're like traumatized. They're like, what happened to you? And I'm like, well, I grew up in Hollywood, so a lot happened, Anyway, but so it's a very different experience. It's a horror genre, dystopian fiction genre, and but a lot of people have come up to me and said, like, wow, like I really appreciate things you said and those experiences and that sort of very dark, almost apocalyptic interpretation of reality. Because I love mythology, and so Spider-Man mythology and Little Mermaid mythology, and then I write my own sort of very dark, sort of dystopian or horrific mythology, and so I it's very therapeutic to me. It's very cathartic, and I've been very fortunate that people have come up to me and appreciated that. Even though a couple have come up to me and been shocked, a lot more, many more people have come up to me and said, "Wow, like." That's deep, man. That's really whoa.
Yes.
And so I appreciate that.
Yes. Any advice people want to get in the industry?
I mean, you got to follow your bliss. You got to follow your heart. I wouldn't even know how to get into the industry these days. But I guess with everything with social media now, I mean, anybody can be in the industry. It's just you got to get the exposure and you find representation. And I mean, how do you do that? I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know how to do it because back when I was, doing it, it was, somebody met somebody on a bus. You know what I mean? It's a different world. You'd call somebody on their landline and write a letter. I don't know. Now it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to stand out when everybody else is trying to do it.
Well, that's the bizarre thing. It's like there's so much more exposure, but then it's so much harder to, So I don't know. I mean, I'm just very fortunate I get to do, what I do. I'm blessed to be part of these wonderful legacy projects like, Spider-Man and The Little Mermaid, which have this perennial appeal because they deal with aspects of the human condition that recur.
Yes.
I mean, we saw that with one of the latest incarnations of Spider-Man, for instance, with the multiverse in Miles Morales. It was like what a wonderful reinterpretation of the same mythological situations, the same psychological, sociological, these things are part of the human condition, and that we see it evolving into new ways and new interpretations. And what's that wonderful line he has at the end of? He says that
I'm gonna do things my way.
anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah.
Anyone can wear the mask. I mean, that's Jungian stuff. You know what I mean? That's like really interesting stuff. Anyway, but I love mythology. I'm a huge mythology guy. So I love seeing all those different. Joseph Campbell. I love seeing all these different interpretations of the myths, and those are the myths that endure. Are the ones that deal with the human condition.
Yes.
Right, and that's why we see generations later, The Little Mermaid, Spider-Man, because they're coming of age stories and they're the hero's journey and all that. So so I love it. I'm fortunate to be a part of it.
Okay. Anything you want to close out this with, promote, or you want to say?
No, I mean, I love doing the conventions, and warning if you read any of my short stories.
Yeah. Careful with his short stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Just careful.
Yeah.
All right, thank you again for this interview.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Nice to see you.
Hey, nice to meet you too, man.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank you so much.